For the best part of a decade, one fixture stood above all others in English football: Manchester City versus Liverpool. This was not just a match, it was the main event, the game that often decided the destination of the Premier League trophy. It was a contest defined by two of the greatest managers of the modern era, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. Their teams played with an intensity and quality that left the rest of the league breathless. The rivalry was built on tactical genius, with both managers pushing their players to the absolute limit of physical and mental endurance. They set the standard for everyone else to follow. The importance of this fixture was rooted in its sheer quality. When City and Liverpool met, it was a clash of titans, a showcase of the very best football the world had to offer. Guardiola's City mastered a style of intricate, possession-based football that could suffocate opponents into submission. In response, Klopp's Liverpool perfected a high-energy, heavy-metal pressing game that could dismantle any team with furious counterattacks. Their battles were a fascinating tactical chess match played at 100 miles per hour. Each game felt like a final, with the points gained or lost having a direct and significant impact on the title race. The rivalry captured the imagination of fans globally because it represented two distinct but equally brilliant philosophies of football. It was a clash of styles that consistently produced drama, goals, and unforgettable moments. The narrative was simple yet compelling: two phenomenal teams led by two visionary coaches going head-to-head for domestic supremacy. For years, no other fixture carried the same weight or promised the same level of spectacle. If you wanted to see the pinnacle of the Premier League, you watched Manchester City play Liverpool. The rest of the league was often just a supporting cast to their epic duel. As of today, February 8th, 2026, that era feels like a distant memory. The fixture, once the undisputed highlight of the season, no longer holds the same significance. Both clubs find themselves in a period of transition, grappling with new identities and tactical uncertainties. While the history between them is rich, they are no longer the two dominant forces they once were. The league has evolved, and other teams have risen to challenge for the top spots. The City versus Liverpool match is now just another big game in a crowded calendar, rather than the grand spectacle that once defined the entire season. The rivalry's peak can be traced back to the 2017-18 season, a year that delivered 4 classic encounters. The season began with a statement 5-0 victory for Manchester City at the Etihad, a game remembered for Sadio Mané's red card. However, Liverpool responded later in the season with a thrilling 4-3 win at Anfield, ending City's long, unbeaten run in a whirlwind of attacking football. This match, more than any other, announced Liverpool's arrival as genuine contenders who could go toe-to-toe with Guardiola's seemingly invincible side. It was a chaotic, high-stakes game that set the tone for the epic battles that would follow in the coming years. That same season, the two clubs were drawn against each other in the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals. The first leg at Anfield was an astonishing display of Liverpool's power. Klopp's side blew City away with 3 goals in the opening 31 minutes, securing a stunning 3-0 victory in an electric atmosphere. The return leg at the Etihad saw City desperate to mount a comeback, but Liverpool held firm and won 2-1, advancing 5-1 on aggregate. These two games cemented the rivalry on the European stage and proved that Liverpool had found a way to consistently trouble Guardiola's dominant team. The title races that followed were legendary for their intensity and razor-thin margins. In the 2018-19 season, Manchester City famously pipped Liverpool to the title by a single point, winning their final 14 games of the season to hold off a relentless challenge from a Liverpool team that lost only 1 game all year. The following season, in 2019-20, Liverpool finally ended their 30-year wait for a league title, winning it in dominant fashion. These campaigns were defined by the incredible consistency of both sides, who pushed each other to new heights and left the rest of the Premier League far behind in their wake. Even after Klopp's departure, the games continued to deliver drama, such as the 2022-23 season when City chased an unprecedented treble. The signing of Erling Haaland had given City a new dimension, a powerful focal point to their attack. Their matches against Liverpool remained fiercely contested, showcasing the tactical evolution of both teams as they tried to find new ways to gain an edge. These historical encounters created a legacy of excellence and drama, making the fixture a modern classic. They were games that were not just about 3 points, but about defining an entire era of English football. The decline of the rivalry's importance can be traced to significant changes at both clubs. At Liverpool, the post-Klopp era under manager Arne Slot has been marked by a period of tactical and personnel uncertainty. Slot's appointment was meant to build on Klopp's foundation, but the transition has been less than smooth. The club's transfer business in the summer of 2025 was particularly puzzling, with the signing of 2 new centre-forwards, when the midfield and defence were in more urgent need of reinforcement. This has left the team looking unbalanced and vulnerable in key areas of the pitch. On the pitch, Liverpool have struggled to find a clear tactical identity under their new management. The team has looked vulnerable to balls played in behind their defence, a problem made worse by an inconsistent offside trap. This tactical confusion was amplified by the arrival of former assistant Pep Lijnders to Manchester City in the summer of 2025, taking with him an intimate knowledge of Liverpool's system. There is a sense that the famous high-intensity pressing game has lost its edge, with players looking fatigued and the system no longer executed with the same ferocious precision that once made it so feared. Manchester City have also entered a state of flux. Pep Guardiola remains, but the team around him is changing. The appointment of Hugo Viana as sporting director in 2025, replacing Chiki Begiristain, signalled a shift in transfer strategy. Recent signings like goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, a world-class shot stopper but less comfortable with the ball at his feet, and the individualistic attacker Ryan Cherki are not typical Guardiola players. This suggests a move away from the strict, system-based philosophy that defined City's decade of dominance towards a more pragmatic and individual-focused approach. Guardiola himself has acknowledged the challenges of maintaining his high-intensity style in the modern game. Over a year ago, he admitted that the congested football calendar makes it nearly impossible to play with the same control and pressing, suggesting that adapting to the rhythm of the game is now more important. This is reflected in City's recent performances, where they have sometimes won with less than 50% possession, a rare occurrence in the past. Both clubs, once so sure of their methods, now appear muddled and are searching for the next tactical evolution, leaving them behind the new frontrunners. While City and Liverpool have been navigating their transitions, other clubs have risen to the top of the Premier League. Teams like Arsenal, under the guidance of Guardiola's former apprentice Mikel Arteta, have established themselves as major title contenders. Arteta has built a side that excels in control and tactical discipline, often dominating games through well-drilled set pieces and a structured defensive shape. They, along with other clubs who have invested smartly and developed clear tactical plans, have closed the gap that once seemed insurmountable. The league is no longer a two-horse race. The tactical revolution that Guardiola and Klopp started has now become the norm across the league. High pressing and possession-based football are no longer unique advantages. They are the standard principles that most top teams try to implement. Simply being good at these things is not enough to dominate anymore. The new challenge is to find the next innovation, the next tactical tweak that provides an edge. While teams like Arsenal have focused on control and dead ball situations, City and Liverpool have not yet found their answer, making them appear a step behind the current title favourites. As a result, when Manchester City and Liverpool meet today, the stakes are different. The game is no longer a potential title decider. Instead, it is a battle for a top four position, a fight to remain in the conversation. Both teams find themselves looking up at the league leaders, knowing that even a victory will not drastically alter their position in the title race. The intensity is still there, born from years of fierce competition, but the context has changed. The fixture has lost the definitive edge it once had when first and second place were on the line. Despite this, the match remains a fascinating encounter full of history and pride. The quality on the pitch is still high, and the rivalry between the two sets of fans is as strong as ever. It is a game that promises drama and great football moments, but it is no longer the Premier League's big show. The narrative has shifted. Today, the most important games are those involving the new league leaders. Manchester City versus Liverpool is now a compelling chapter in the story of the season, but it is no longer the main event that defines the entire plot.